Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is your boy ChosenWizdom and here are 10 reasons why Manchester United must sack Erik Ten Hag. 1. Style of play, or perhaps lack of it. When we signed Erik Ten Hag, we expected him to come in and show us some sort of Dutch Ajax total football, attacking football with flair, dynamism. We expected him to come in and implement a distinctive style of play. That's what we expected. We saw Louis van Gaal do it a few seasons back. We've seen Pep Guardiola do it for Manchester City. We've seen other managers come and do it for other clubs. So what we expected was this manager to have a set of principles that he stuck by, that he wanted to implement here at Manchester United. What we ended up getting was a manager who has no style of play, no distinctive morals. The first season, we had pragmatic football. We had the CASEMIRO, Eriksen low block. We had the Varane-Martinez defensive partnership. We had a low block, pragmatic style of football in the first season. The second season, it was kamikaze transition football, as he would like to call it, where CASEMIRO, whoever the midfielder in that position, whoever the DM was totally unprotected. It was basically football with a big hole in the middle of our midfield. It was transition kamikaze football where the two number 8s, whether it's Bruno or Mason Mount, just left CASEMIRO by himself. There is no possession football. The manager has come out many times and says he wants to create a team, the best transition team in the country. Where's possession? We do not know how to keep the ball. The manager prefers to play players who are quick, who might be able to play well with a high line, but cannot break down low blocks because they lack the technicality or the football intelligence. This manager has come in and he has conned us all to believe that he was going to change the football. The one thing we were crying out under Oli for was good attacking football, and this manager conned us. He conned us. And that, for me, if I'm going to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours, 4 hours, sometimes we play 2 or 3 times a week watching Manchester United. Yes, I want to win, but please implement a style of play that I want to yearn to, love to see. Football is art at the end of the day. It is. And that is the fundamental disappointment with this manager. His style of football. Secondly, his transfer spend. Now, reports have said that this manager, in the 2.5 years since he's been here, has spent over £600 million on transfers. I do not think any manager in the similar space of time will spend anywhere near that much. Yes, I know Chelsea did a madness and spent like £1 billion in let's just park Chelsea. This manager spent over 600 million in about 2.5 years and has signed over 20 senior players. He has been given money to spend like no other manager has. He's won an FA Cup. He's won a Carling Cup. But are we any better as a football team? Have we improved as a football team after 20 senior players and 600 million spent by this manager? I don't think we have. I do not think we have. We might have won 2 cups. Mourinho won 2 cups. Louis van Gaal won cups. Every manager except Oli has won cups. And to be honest, Oli would have won a cup as well. He was in the final of the Europa League. We should have won that match. The fact that we spent so much money on players and have little to show for it is diabolical. This manager should not be given any more money. Also, it's the fact that he's only signed players that he's either played with before managed before, should I say, coached before, or Dutch. Whether it's Martinez, whether it's Ligt, he's got his whole Ajax back four. He's got his whole Onana, is Ligt. He's got Martinez. He's got Mazraoui. All these signings. He's got Antony. He's got CASEMIRO, Eriksen. He's been given everything. Mason Mount, hojlund, Zirkzee. Everything. And this, listen, it's diabolical what this guy is doing. That is, yeah, it's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. Third reason, the treatment of players. The general treatment of his players. Now, I'm going to say a lot of hearsay, but for me, it's clear to see that the way he's treated some high-profile, professional, quality footballers at this club has been shocking. Yes, we want discipline, and yes, we want a manager to install culture at this club. We do. We need that. We need a framework. We need order. But the way he's gone about doing it sometimes, it's wrong. The way that Varane at one stage fell out with the manager, clearly Varane fell out with the manager. CASEMIRO, and these are two players, Varane and CASEMIRO, who don't fall out with anybody. They're not that sort of player. They are not. He's fallen out with both of them. He's fallen out with Rashford. We see how the way he treated Jadon Sancho, whether you agreed with Jadon or not, the way he treated Jadon was absolutely diabolical. Whether you like Cristiano Ronaldo or not, or wanted him to sign Ronaldo or not, the way he treated Cristiano Ronaldo, in hindsight, looking back, was not right. The way Antony, one of his signings, you can tell there is a relationship breakdown there as well. The way he's treating Antony sometimes, you can argue is not right. He's been frozen out. This manager, the way this manager treated Maguire, and then when he needs help, he draws for Maguire. The way he treated McTominay, and whenever he needed a goal, begged McTominay. He drew for McTominay to come on and save his. The way he uses people. He comes across like somebody who has a personality issue. And I know managers can be narcissists, but his treatment of some of these players, I can understand why some of them might want to throw in the towel. I can understand. And if you disagree, you just have to look at every single player that's fallen out with this manager. And why? Ask yourself why. That's it. Fourth reason, not knowing his best team. This kind of leads from the style of play issue. If you've got no style of play, no consistent way of seeing football, no patterns of play, no cohesion, you're not going to know who your best players are. This manager does not know who his best team is. He's constantly, and I know we should rotate, but he's constantly changing his mind, changing the team, especially at the start of this season. Do you think this manager prefers Zirkzee or Hojlund? Do you think he knows which one's better? Do you think he favours Garnacho or Ahmad? Do you think he knows which one is technically better? Do you think he knows who his best centre-back pairing are? Do you think it's Ligt and Martinez? Or is it Lenny Euro? I do not believe this manager knows his best 11. He doesn't know his best team. And most importantly, I do not believe this manager profiles his players properly. I believe he misprofiles his players. CASEMIRO is not a lone six. He's never played a lone six. But yet this manager is asking CASEMIRO to play the lone six role, the distributor, the Busquets role, the Rodri role. That is not CASEMIRO. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Always has been, always will be. Modric and Cruz picked the ball up from the back four from Madrid, not CASEMIRO. This manager, he misprofiles players. Kobe Manu is an attacking player. He cannot be transformed into an Angel Gomez. He cannot. He doesn't have the passing range. Kobe Manu wants to play in the pockets. He's an attacking player. Stop playing him as a DM. He is not that. This manager misprofiles players, his own players that who he buys a lot. And he does not know his best team. What is happening? What is going on? What is going on? An example of that for me could be Sabitzer as well. When we signed Sabitzer from Dortmund, this manager said that Sabitzer could play and would play the defensive midfield position. That is not Sabitzer. It is not. This manager, I don't have faith in his ability to, one, pick the best team, and two, correctly profile a player. And this is a manager gaslighting the fan base. Gaslighting the fan base is a tricky one because, in my opinion, anytime this manager is faced with any questions to do explaining what type of football we play, telling us what he saw in his own eyes, telling us what the problem is, explaining anything, whenever he's asked any question, I feel like he routinely gaslights the fan base. Many times after a poor performance, this manager will come out and try to talk about how good we played and how well we played and how we transitioned. And he will try to gaslight us into believing that what we saw with our own eyes wasn't a piece of crap. That's what he does, to the point where now we are one of the worst footballing teams in the league and people want this manager to stay because of all the brainwashing and the gaslighting he has done in interviews. He uses his words. He's not a good communicator, but he's very confident. He's very assured of himself. And the way he sees things and views things is very, very unique. Very, very unique. Our league performance. Man United's league performance should be the fundamental reason why this manager loses his job. Last season was Man United's worst Premier League season in history. In history. And any other manager would have got fired. These INEOS guys said they were going to monitor the situation, review the season. Took a whole month to review, decided to keep him after our worst performance. Why? Because of an FA Cup win and the dopamine that we all received from winning the match. All that energy, that dopamine that we all got. It spilled over. We completely forgot what we saw in the whole season. But I haven't forgot what we saw. It was the worst Premier League season. The worst performances. 7-0, 3-0, getting beaten 4-0 by Crystal Palace. We finished that season in 8th position. Minus goal difference. Yet this man is still sitting here, cozy, chilling, relaxing. And there are fans who, listen, we won a trophy. We won a trophy. Yes, we finished 8th, but we won a trophy. The league position alone, the league performance is the bread and butter. Alex Ferguson told us that, don't ever forget. The league performance shows you who you really are. Fantastic, we won a cup. We've always won cups. We won a cup with Louis van Gaal. We won cups under Jose Mourinho. We don't really go 2 or 3 years without winning cups or a trophy. We win trophies. We need to win the league. The league is your bread and butter, guys. Don't let this man get into your head and make you feel like, yes, finishing 12th is fine as long as we win FA Cup. Do not become Arsenal. Do not become that mid-table club that thinks like that. Do not. 7th on my list, the Champions League performance. The Champions League performance last year was one of the worst Champions League performances we have ever seen as a Manchester United fan base. Simply put. Our performances, the way we played, and yes, I know Onana made a few mistakes. And Onana is his signing. Once again, listen, I got no problems with Onana. I don't think he's United's biggest problem. But once again, if you're going to blame Onana, you have to look at the fact that Onana is one of his signings. Hojlund was absolutely poor. I know he scored goals in the Champions League, but he's such a poor striker. It's unreal, the level of support that people like him and Garnacho receive for being so mediocre just because the club pushes them. The PR behind those footballers is insane, and our performance in the Champions League was diabolical. We finished bottom of a group that contained, yes, Bayern Munich, but it also contained Copenhagen. It also contained Galatasaray. We won one match in the whole group stage against those 3 teams. Just one match. 5 points bottom of the group. And everybody forgot all about that. Everyone forgot all about it. And only now that he's still playing poor football, it's only now that we're still doing poorly in European competitions are people now starting to wake up to this man and what he's putting us through. It's not right what he's putting us through, guys. It's not right. We need to get this guy out. And not the most important reason, but the reason why we need to sack this guy is he does not even back his own players. He doesn't. And what I mean by that is this. Antony, £100 million signing. How many times do you see Antony on the pitch? Mason Mount, yes, he has injury problems. But even when he never had injury problems, how many times did you see Mason Mount on the pitch? He signs players that he does not even play. For me, if you sign a player, you got to back that player. You got to be sure. You can't sign Antony, freeze Jadon Sancho out the team, sell Jadon Sancho and not play Antony. Like, what is this? He does not back his own players. And it kind of feeds into the whole misprofiling player as well. And the fact that people like Amad Diallo, who for me should be cemented as the right winger for Manchester United, he takes out Amad in the big games. He takes out Amad in the Tottenham game and plays Garnacho. He doesn't trust certain players, doesn't back his own players, and he has favourites. And all of these things is like a giant cocktail of shit. He doesn't back his own players that he signs. Doesn't back himself. He talks about players needing to train hard to get into the team. Then he talks about Amad training hard, doesn't pick him. Then he says players who don't play well will be dropped. Bruno plays shit every game. He keeps playing Bruno. CASEMIRO has one bad game, drops CASEMIRO. There's no consistency with his approach in general. There is none. And that's another reason why this man, get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. Number 9, and maybe the most important one, his poor communication. This man does not know how to communicate properly or effectively. He doesn't. The way he speaks in interviews, the way he answers questions in interviews, it's like he's watching a different game. He doesn't always have the words. And I know English is not his first language, but even when I speak to my Dutch friends, they say his Dutch doesn't even sound good. He's not a good communicator. He doesn't answer questions in full. And listen, the way that they interviewed the Liverpool manager, and in the first few sentences, he explained what Man United were doing. He explained Liverpool's game plan, and he explained it clearly. If you've asked Ten Hag to explain anything to you, his communication is so bad, and it makes you think. We've all had jobs, whether you're in an office, on the shop floor, in the warehouse, wherever you are, your manager needs to be able to communicate to you effectively. He needs to be able to tell you where to go, where not to go, and what to do, and all of these things in detail. I cannot imagine Ten Hag grabbing a player and explaining to them in detail why they need to, do a step over and go inside and then shift it to the right. Or when this guy does this and when this guy does that, I want you to cut inside. I can't imagine him trying to explain the intricacies of certain moves and certain shapes to his players. Imagine that. Imagine trying to motivate your players sounding like Ten Hag, like like, get the hell out of there, Ten Hag. Just get the hell out. And last on my list, and this should be the final nail in his coffin, breaking every negative record. Breaking every bad record under the sun. I feel that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came and broke records. Broke loads of negative records. This man, Ten Hag, came in and said, hold my beer. Slapped Ole around the face a couple of times. People elbowed him. Gave him a stunner. And then left. I feel like that's what Ten Hag did. Because Ten Hag, I feel like the worst league finish was it. We had lost 13 games by Christmas, the first time since 1930. We had gone 4 games in a row without scoring since 1992. We hadn't lost back-to-back games to West Ham since 2007. There's been so many negative records that this man has broken. So many. Bournemouth have never won at Old Trafford until Erik Ten Hag. Losing 3 games in a row to Newcastle. I can literally keep going on and on and on. Losing 6 of the opening 14 games in a Premier League season. Man, there is so many records, and that's only like the pinnacle. That's not even all of it. No Manchester United manager has conceded 20 goals to Liverpool in their first 7 games since the 1800s. Newcastle hadn't kept... Listen, this is shocking. No team had ever given away 4 penalties in their first 4 Champions League group games in competition history until Erik Ten Hag. Manchester United hadn't lost 5 of the opening 10 league games in 36 years. Under Ten Hag, they have. And you get my drift. Certain things just never matter. Just washes off his back. And all of these records he's breaking, no one will break them again. He will go down in history as this guy who did this. And we all allowed it to happen. And INEOS sat there on their hands and did nothing. And that's it. Those are 10 reasons. 10 really good reasons, not in order of importance, but 10 really good reasons why this manager needs to get suplexed out of Old Trafford. Brock Lesnar style. Let me know what you guys think. Add some more to the list. Let's get this rap sheet. Criminal charges. Let's get the charges long so it's substantive. Let's do it together. Add some more charges. Comment below, man. And I'll see you guys next time. It's not right what he's putting us through, guys. It's not right. We need to get this guy out.